No normal episode this week, as you've probably noticed. The noise. Yeah, today is my filming this day, and it's also the day that apparently there's some kind of marathon going directly past my flat. I thought I'd bring out an episode that's currently available in podcast audio-only form, but on YouTube. It's Pride related because it's the beginning of Pride Month, and it's an episode that I still have some thoughts on, so there'll probably be an update at some point, so I wanted to make sure I got this out there. I was planning on recording it properly, but you'll just have to make do with the podcast recording and some pictures. Sorry about that. Also, there's still tickets available if you want to come to my show on June 5th at 7:30 at the Social Refuge Queer Lit Place here in Manchester. Tickets are available from the link in the show notes. If you don't want to come, you can still buy tickets and just support me. That's great. Or you could just give me the money on Patreon. Or OnlyFans. Or anywhere, really. Anyway, let's get this done, and then I can get back to pretending to write the show that I've got to do in about 10 days, because I haven't actually written it yet. This is probably true. Please be aware that the following contains strong language and adult themes. It would be boring without them. I bought a flag last year. Almost exactly a year ago, in fact. A big pride flag. The one with the pointy chevron for black and trans people and the circle for intersex people. The whole shebang. Shebang? They bang? Anyway, it's a very busy flag, isn't it? Aesthetically, it's a bit much. Stripes, chevrons, and a circle. I mean, I know all the bits are important, and I'm not saying that we should try and remove any bits of it, but it is a lot. Still, it's better than the British one, which is fiddly to draw at best, and a symbol of horrific global colonialism at worst. Besides, I'm never sure which way up is the right way up with the British flag, because there is a wrong way, and you'll get some proud patriot or other telling you if it's upside down or back to front or whatever. That said, if I see any business or organisation flying the pride flag upside down, the red goes to the top, Stephanie. Jesus fucking Christ. They will be getting more than an angry email from me. And no, that doesn't make me a hypocrite. It just means that I'm aligned to chaotic good. So yeah, I own a full-size pride flag. In lots of ways, it's a lot like my penis. Immediately recognisable, fun to wave around, and I like the way the sunlight hits it when I stand in the window drinking my morning coffee. Owning a pride flag might not seem like a big thing, but I went back and forth over hitting the purchase button half a dozen times before I actually clicked it. From a community shop too, not that big online megastore. So anyway, yes, I bought a big gay flag, and I've never owned anything like that before. Anything that really loudly announced that I'm a big old queer. Never really needed to. My mouth tends to let everyone know soon enough. One way or another. But also, I've always had a bit of a thing about it. Some old bits of programming. Not much that I could put my finger on as explicitly said, but just learned behaviours. The things we do and the things we don't do. The first example I think of when I'm trying to think of something was an old Will and Grace episode. Will is dating a newly out guy, and as thank you for teaching him the ways of the gays, this guy buys Will a pride flag beach towel. The joke is about how misplaced his enthusiasm is, and Will kind of brings it home by adding in a line about how it'll come in handy next time he wants people to know he's gay from space, or something like that. And it was just one joke in a very funny series, but it stuck with me a bit because Will, the more experienced and wiser gay man, seemed to be saying that he doesn't broadcast his gayness. And yeah, this was 20 years ago now, and there wasn't much about the gays available in mainstream media. Will and Grace was, in a lot of ways, one of the main ways we baby gays learnt about the world. Especially if we weren't in a big city, and we didn't have an older generation to learn from and interact with. Back in those olden days, there were a lot of rules, spoken and otherwise, about how you were worthy of a normal life, and it didn't matter who you sleep with, as long as you kept it behind closed doors. As long as you were a good gay and kept it respectable. As long as you were normal. Because what would the neighbours say? Look, everyone's fine with it, as long as you don't shove anything down anyone's throat. Unless they've had several drinks and are feeling curious, then they might be okay with having things down their throat. But don't mention it to anyone, or they'll kick your teeth in. And so we were taught in a million tiny ways to always be careful, only to be gay in ways that were quiet and restrained and didn't rock the boat, ways that were acceptable to normal people, and to be grateful, because there are plenty of places out there where being gay is illegal, so keep your head down and count your blessings. And while you're down there, wait! Of course, this wasn't just the straights. That kind of thinking can be infectious, especially when you're young and don't know any better. We sort of policed each other, I guess. Lots of snooty gays looking down their noses at each other, like shaved cats in lots of ways, all edgy and sharp and just looking for the first excuse to tear each other down so that we'd feel better about ourselves. Like I say, we were young, we didn't know any better. We were still learning that the goal wasn't to fit in, but to be happy. Not that the two are necessarily mutually exclusive, but you certainly don't need one to get to the other. We were running off old software, telling ourselves that just because we fancied men didn't mean we couldn't find someone, settle down, and be just like everyone else. And, like Will, we dressed it up in half jokes, or shame bombs that were thrown at anyone who was seen as too gay. Man up, yeah? If I wanted to shag a girl, I would have stayed straight. I blame Thatcher. It's a good bet, generally, for most things. Americans can do pretty much the same thing with Reagan. It's honestly darkly impressive how much of the shit that both countries are dealing with today can be dropped squarely at the feet of those two fuckheads. Sometimes I daydream about owning a time machine and a baseball bat. Anyway, the human cancer herself made laws saying that it was illegal and damaging to kids to pretend that a gay family was in any way acceptable. And with no internet like we have today, as well as very few positive role models, the lie very nearly stuck. And maybe for me, having a big, busy flag flying from my flat window is a way of burning out a little bit more of that cancer. Maybe it's helping get rid of some of the shame that makes someone say, I'm gay, but I don't make it my whole personality like some people. Just last week, I went a bit further. I now have a rainbow strap on my watch. So not only is there a big gay flag flying outside my residence, like the queer royalty what I am, there's also one with me wherever I go too. Not because I need to remind myself that it's time to be gay. It is always time to be gay. I get that done 24/7, sometimes twice on a Sunday. No, I don't have a rainbow on my wrist and a pride flag in my flat window all year round for myself. I know I'm gay. And I don't care who else knows who I allow into my bed or my shower cubicle at the gym. That's not the point. I keep rainbows and pride flags around me all year, not just in Pride Month, as a signal to anyone else that might be feeling a certain kind of way. I want them to know that they're safe around me. I want them to know that I've got their back, because our community sticks together. And more than all of that, I want them to know that they're not alone. And no matter how bad it seems or how isolated and unloved they might be feeling, I want them to know, when they see this big, hairy lump of handsome in the world, that there are others out there, just like them. That there's a big, huge community of people of all sizes, shapes, and presentations just waiting to welcome them, so that they don't need to deal with all of the heterosexual nonsense by themselves. So maybe don't pack away your flags or get rid of your rainbows now that June is over. That's straight people thinking. Pride Month is for breeders and boring people telling you how and when it's acceptable to be who we are. And no thank you. I reject the whole concept of Pride Month. It doesn't exist anywhere but a company marketing calendar. As queer people, either we're proud all year round, or not at all. And there are plenty of people out there who will find hope in knowing that we're here every day of our lives, being loud, proud, and looking out for one another. Because that's what that flag means to me, and I hope it's what it means to them too. And if making my whole personality about being gay isn't to boring people's tastes, then so let them choke. It is very much not my problem. I'm done minimizing my brilliance to accommodate those who want to live in the dark. Besides, if nothing else, keeping my pride decorations up all year round will definitely annoy the religious nutjobs. Like they say, God hates flags. That was Probably True, the LGBTQ+ storytelling project created to remind all of our queer siblings that we are none of us alone. If you liked it, then comment, share, subscribe, and join the Patreon. Or just tell all your friends. If you didn't like it, tell me. Come at me, bro.